Okay. It's working. That's good. Yeah, it's streaming, but there's one issue. This screen right here, I've only had it when I first started the game. And that was it. And that scares me. Because either it reset the game, or it's just here for something else. The only thing I can think of would be when the narrator said I'll let him have one last go before I retire him. And I wonder if that meant I got to do it until I exited the game, then it erased my data. Oh, never mind. This is just a bunch of sliders. Adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Oh, they're so cute! What counts as friends? Is this friend? What about this? This friend. I'll assume that's friend. Adjust the slider until the number 5. Okay. Yeah, this is a play on the starting it the last time with the sliders. Nice. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Okay, yeah. Okay. Because I don't know if I got it on stream last time, but it was because I put in the time and then it asked how accurate it was using a slider, and then it was like, I just don't have any more sliders. And then boom, more sliders. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Occuboinkle or Scrumtush? I can pronounce Scrumtush. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Sure. What time is it anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Yes. Oh. That's not as funny. Will you come back to visit me? Yes. I have to now. Okay, no, we're still in the Stanley Parable 2. Mostly I want to check if the outside sounds are still happening.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a...
Yeah, we've seen this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, that's just turned on. Oh, none of the windows are making the noise anymore.
Ah, Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need.
I have to check again. Oh, okay, it's a ladder. Whew, that's fine. Why is this sometimes here? Yeah, there's no noises. No strange noises. The one thing I want to try is what if I say, no, nothing is not
the
a
bucket
bucket.
tightly to his chest
Okay.
and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
I do
And here
know.
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I do know of this place where there's like dozens upon dozens of
No,
Stanley
said the
rings.
bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I just don't know how to get there. I'm also wondering if I should jump off this.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Wait, hang on. Oh, I know what it is. One-handed walking. Off.
There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It
It's
should
also
have
that
alarmed
over
him, of
there.
course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Incorrect. Then there's the escape ending.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
Do we?
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
Are
if
we
not
sure?
addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what
I'm gonna be
is
upset if it
and
doesn't change
isn't
anything.
a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
The end is never the end is never the end. Is
Now
this
then,
a
I'm going
bucket?
to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell
I
us
have the
everything
answers.
we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
I also
Okay,
want to see
let's
if anything
begin.
changes if I get them all right.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Well, then wouldn't it just be a bucket?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
I'm smart. I got big brain.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Well, what? And then I have to see what if anything happens if I get them all wrong.
Is this a bucket?
Bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, When I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true.
Are we serious?
Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket?
Oh,
Mere
it's just
moments
doing
ago,
it
I could
again.
answer these questions with confidence.
It doesn't matter.
But now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley,
No.
I can't keep doing
Yes.
this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
This is disappointing.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did...
That's a disappointment.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
Still
to go to the
nothing.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little
No.
thing in the office. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the
Can I do this
achievement?
with the
Click a
bucket?
door 5 times. Is that all that you think? Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No. No, surely not.
No. There is no door achievement with bucket. Bucket cannot achieve.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his bosses... Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I don't know how to get back to certain things, like the memory room. I mean, I can guess.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Like the Stanley Figley. The Stanley Ring. I don't know how to get back to that ending.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Thank you, Bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control.
Nope.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Okay. And
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the
I think
bucket
it
still
is.
had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I have to go this way. The door's closed.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Come on, Bucket. Whee! The end is never the end is never the end. Come on, Bucket.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death?
Fair.
This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Ah, okay.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to
what
death.
about mine? What about Stanley's life?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Is it now? The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void, but through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world, or will you accept with an open mind that may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Wait, my bucket's gone! Okay, come on. We have to learn about the exhibit of the bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Well, that's not Stanley's fault. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced chronic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Are we sure that's 25? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. See, there's more than 25 buckets. Or are you saying some of those aren't buckets? Nice, Da Vinci's bucket. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Wait, put to death? Or they die from attempting it? Because there's a difference in those. That's just a chair. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains. No one can control a bucket. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance goes into the bucket. Stress equals level of water in the bucket. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equal holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. I kinda understand. bucket. Ooh, what's in here? Nothing. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Ah. Thank you, bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Wait, I want in here. I want in here. It's glowing. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Yeet. Oh. I got the bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something
Levitate,
we can
apparently.
do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Is it
Let
restart the game?
Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I don't know if anything happens if you restart. Or don't restart. See, I'm back again. Does anything happen?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait.
Oh, that's just the same.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No new content. But
when
what
Stanley
if?
came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was but eager to get back to business.
See, that's
Stanley
the problem
took the first
with
open
me
door on
and
his
games
left.
like this. I ran out of things that I know what to do.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Because it was after the unplugging the phone ending.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, It's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone.
I can do
He's
that.
taken to his apartment where he finds his
won't
wife,
let me.
and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
What?
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices, and to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Because it's taking forever.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
The deterioration.
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Hold on. Just this invisible wall.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Don't worry, I'm not either. I know how it feels. I want to go back. Let me go back. I want to unplug the phone again. Let me go back. Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on the left.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
I like this cabinet. You know? I want a cabinet like that. Ooh, or like one of these. Wait, what if I want to go back? Nothing? Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about...
I need to make it to the door.
My story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge.
Come on.
I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know.
Let me up here.
What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
No, I need the red door. Hello? Mr. Narrator. Oh.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Let me. No, I'm not.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
Oh.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
Whoops.
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
All right, I'll choose the other door.
And always
I think you have to choose both of them.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Whee!
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find a... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, that's right.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley
it.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out.
Absolutely
Stanley had been
not.
trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Nightshark 115. It doesn't work. Help me. Help me. I am the most
Stanley
expensive
spoke
boss.
the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
And I want to stay down here.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me?
So, the person I'm being right now,
Is everything all right?
am I Stanley, or am I the
This is
real
important.
person?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision.
Then who's
It cannot exist
this?
without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do.
Because you have to make both choices.
Please.
And the narrator doesn't
Choose.
like both of them. So does the real person just
something.
leave?
Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Okay, cool. Okay, now is the new content door back open.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Still no
meeting
sound.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No. It's not. So did I see everything then? Eh? I guess I have. Well, that's the end of the Stanley Parable, even though there's more stuff, but I just don't know how to get to it. What if I pick up the bucket?
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
Okay, I thought it closed permanently. Okay, I'm not stuck. But, yeah, I guess I'm done with this. Alright. So I guess what I'm gonna do is start, end the stream, then start another one. Because I also want to play Monster Hunter. Actually, no, I don't think I'll stream that. I'll just stream this.
Stanley clutched the bucket tight.
So, yeah, thank you for watching. I might look up a guide and do all the other things, but for now, I'll just end this series here. Bye-bye.